Hello handheld gamers. So today we're looking at No Man's Sky again, and this time on the Steam Deck. So although I did my video for the review of No Man's Sky on the OneXPlayer, and I actually did it about 4 months ago and then forgot to post it, that was posted just recently. And what I find quite interesting is on the OneXPlayer, I had it set to a fairly high power mode. I noticed it was pulling pretty close to 25 watts most of the time. And my goodness, where'd that guy come from? Roughly about 25 watts. I was getting about 45 FPS. It was running at roughly 900p, and it was running okay. Just set to SteamDeck sort of standard settings, but at 900p. It looked pretty good, but 45 to 50 FPS. So here we are playing on the Steam Deck. It's running really well. Although I see the frame rate's kind of going up and down there. It's funny how sometimes you do a test, everything looks good, when you come back to reviewing it in a single take, it's like it lets you down a little bit. But it is pretty much stable around the 60 FPS mark. It does dip down now and then. That could partly be because I'm in a really weak internet connection here actually just now. But what I will show you is the video options. It's obviously set to 800p, so a little bit less than on the OneXPlayer, but still resolution scales 100%, triple buffer, 60 FPS max. And when I go to the graphic options, we are running just standard across the board. And I have to say, it's running pretty well. Now, worth also noting, whilst the OneXPlayer was pulling about 25 watts at the CPU, the Steam Deck is, if I just get the performance settings here, we're using a per game profile, 60 FPS frame limit we're set to. We've set the TDP to 8 watts. So as you can see from the top here, the whole device is only pulling about 15 watts all in, which is a good 10 watts less than the processor alone was pulling from the OneXPlayer. So I'm actually really impressed, I have to say. It's running really beautifully well. I'll have to go in here for a moment. Let my radiation level recover. So I mean, it's running great, I have to say. If you can get a Steam Deck, if you've got one reserved and you know you're going to get it soon, that's definitely worth going for that. But if you're on a long waiting list, the OneXPlayer is still a brilliant device, but you will have less playtime on it. I think maybe I probably estimated about an hour to an hour and a half on the 4800U model, and it says 2 hours here roughly. 1 hour 55 at the moment on the Steam Deck. I think that was from about a mid 80s% charge, so percentage, the chances are you would get higher than that. And I've got the brightness set relatively high just now. It's kind of bright here where I'm filming. We'll have a little fly up in our ship and just see how it performs in the air. FPS is dropping to about 55, 56 there, so kind of not dissimilar to the OneXPlayer. Now, this is where it gets embarrassing. I've spent far too much time on this game and properly forgotten most of the instructions. Oh. There we go. So, guys, if you like what I do here, I really would appreciate a like or subscribe, or even just some feedback. What would you like to see? I'm going to just slowly work through various games that I've got in my library. Some of them might be games that I've not reviewed on the OneXPlayer. I did aim to do a review on GTA, but I've had problems with it on the Steam Deck. I can get it working, but it's very, very clunky. When it's running, it runs really well, but it's a case of it installs, it runs okay for a couple of games and a couple of restarts even, and then it and then it stops working, so it's a bit strange. Something to investigate. This feels pretty good. I have to say the clarity of your dashboard and that on the ship is actually really good. I thought going from the large 8.4 inch screen of the OneXPlayer down to the much smaller screen on the SteamDeck would be quite poor, but actually it's really not. It's really, really nice. There we go. I think I'll just go back to my landing spot. You may have noticed if you've watched my previous video that I've basically done nothing since the last video, so I really must pick this game up again. I played it quite a lot on PS4 when it first came out, but it's finding the time. Now I should have no excuses now that we're fully handheld. So, thanks for watching, guys.